With us now is Leigh Davenport. Welcome to the show, Ms. Davenport. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
You have had an extraordinary journey in television. I was just looking at all your accolades, plus I did some research ahead of time. But VH1 and BET and TV1 and Channel O and Stars right now with Run the World. Tell us about your journey. What made you decide to grow up to be you?
I always wanted to tell stories. I started when I was in high school, I was doing spoken word. And then I kind of got into the school paper and writing op-eds. And I really loved journalism and I loved storytelling and I loved the idea that, people were interesting and not everyone had a chance to tell their stories. And I wanted to be someone that did that. And so I really kind of thought I would be a journalist or, a magazine editor, and started out on that path. And by the time I graduated, magazines were kind of folding. And so I got a job at VH1 in television, and I really loved and fell in love with for the first time the visual medium and visual storytelling, and how, you were able to combine music and imagery and photography and to tell a complete story. Uh, and so, that's what I started my career in, and ended up transitioning into digital, and running a website called Hello Beautiful for many years, and through that time realizing that I wanted to create media that lasted longer. And the internet is very fast, and you're doing like 30 articles a day and clicks, and then it's on to the next set of clicks. And it made me really rediscover TV and really think about scripted TV, and that, my favorite movies I watch over and over and over again. I've watched Clueless, which came out when I was in fifth grade, and I've maybe seen it 1,000 times, and how powerful it is that I now watch it with my stepdaughter, who's 11. And so, I thought, wow, if you really want to make an impact, if you tell scripted stories, they can last forever and it can influence not only the generation that's current, but like future generations that will come to discover it down the road.
What have some of your early educators said to you about your success? Like, did you go back to your high school or back to your college? Are there certain mentors along the way that are like, Leigh, way to go?
I haven't been able to go back anywhere because of COVID, but obviously everyone has reached out on the internet, on the interwebs. I think mostly what feels really great is that, my mentors and my teachers all kind of say, like, we knew you were capable of this, like we knew that you were a special talent and driven and, had the work ethic and the drive to make this happen. And I think a lot of times when people see things like this, they think you just got lucky or you're overnight success. And in the reality, many, many, many years have gone into getting to this moment. So it always, of course, feels good when people who've seen you along the way come and say, we're so proud of you, because they know what you've been through. They know what you've given up and what you've sacrificed to get to that space.
The hours, I always equate being in the entertainment industry to like being a professional ball player, right? It's not just that moment of those 9 innings that somebody's watching the game. It's all the other times that, that you're doing things like you're on the bus or you're stretching out or you're, pitching a ball a million times or you're trying to, get a new bat and use your bat. It's like, it's intense, but I wouldn't want to do anything else. And I'm sure you wouldn't want to either. Tell us about your surroundings and working with the PAs today.
Yeah, no, I love working with young people. I was mentored. I remember my first PA job, a producer just who let me sit with her in her edits, all night long and just watch the process and, learn how to make TV and how to produce and how to write voiceovers. And, it's just so important to teach. And I love seeing, the way that the young people are so creative and so resourceful, and they have such, a command of, the technology and the ability to do multiple things. I think I'm probably in the last generation where we were kind of taught like do this one thing and stay in your lane, and that's
Oh,
the one thing. And what I love about the young people is like they do everything. They're photographers, they're videographers, they're graphic artists, they sing, they dance, they do all of it. And so it's really exciting to see how unencumbered they are. And just their energy and excitement is just so refreshing and fulfilling. And being able to help facilitate them on their journey is an honor, it's an honor.
I couldn't agree more. I used to say that sometimes I want to eat potato chips and sometimes I want to eat pretzels, but it's okay to eat both, right? And I think you're right. I think that when we were kind of coming up in the industry, it just focus, and be the best at that one thing. But I think you can be the best at like one thing, but highly proficient and skilled at other things. Because sometimes you need to bring value to different projects, and that's how you get hired. Maybe, and I tried, Leigh, you might appreciate this. So this past weekend, my daughter Elise had to go to a wedding, and I tried to do her makeup for her. I am not a makeup artist. There's certain jobs that maybe you can't cross-pollinate and cross-do, but certain things you can. But how about you? Have you ever tried to step into a position where you were like just really bad at it? I was terrible at putting her makeup on. Terrible.
Oh, I too am awful at makeup. Like it's never gonna happen. I can't paint my nails. There's just, some things that you're just like, this is not my skill set. But I think you should be unafraid to try. And I think that, a lot of our parents and our grandparents kind of lived lives that were safe and kind of motivated by fear. And so I like to try to live not motivated by fear and to encourage people also not to be motivated by fear. And, it's a scary world, but you have to assume the best of people and assume the best of yourself and try.
What is one thing that you have accomplished that you're really, that you're personally proud of, that you say, you know what, I'm so glad that I did that I pushed through and I persevered? What's, for you, one accolade that you celebrate in yourself?
Yeah, I'm really proud that, Run the World got made. It's a show that I had an idea for, more than 10 years ago. And I didn't know how to write screenplays, but I tried and I kept trying and I kept teaching myself and I kept focusing on it. And it's just an incredible thing to have lived with something for that long and not given up on it and, be able to actually have made it happen. And so it's a really great feeling to know, all of those times that people told me no or questioned me or, said, this is a 1 in a million shot, not giving up on yourself. Sometimes it's more about the fact that you stayed with it than it is the thing itself, but that you didn't give up, and so it's a really amazing feeling to be in this moment.
And speaking of not giving up, I would like to thank Danita Chantel. She was going to join us for this call. Excuse me. Sorry, pick up. And speaking of not giving up, I would like to thank Danita Chantel for putting the two of us together so that we could have this conversation. She's a delight, an inspiration every day, and I just really enjoy her. So, Danita, this shout out is to you from Leigh and I. Just want to tell you how awesome you are.
Absolutely. She's so lovely, and it was so great to meet her when I was in New York.
And thank you so much. So we will definitely be watching you on Starz, watching your projects on Starz. And I know that you have an upcoming project, so somebody's just going to have to go to your social media for the update, which you'll be talking about soon, correct?
Yeah, sure. I am Leigh Dav on Twitter and Instagram, which is my first name and, parts of my last name. So you can follow me there for any updates on the show and updates and other things I'm working on. Slide in my DMs if you want to chat. I'm around and accessible.
Thank you so much, Leigh. Happy journeys to you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, be well. Bye-bye.